Hopefully you're going to be able to use your reuse a launch pad, but if you're on that backside of zone and there's no one with a launch pad, you're going to be drowning.
Absolutely, and the big thing too, there's not two big skyscrapers, not many communities of bases built right now. It's all just one big amalgamation of boxes. Everyone's gonna start to spread like a virus around on their rotation. They might end up clashing with each other. There's not gonna be that much information to be gathered as well, duo to duo. And right now, Benji's kind of abusing that fact. The fact that people can't see him and Savage diving into every box, just absolutely wrecking the competition. And they already have a few eliminations before they get going. Now they're inside the sky. Match are looking very fine as well. They actually get such a good portion of the zone down low ahead of everyone else.
And it's such a beauty to watch Benji and Savage. I mean, these guys could probably play without any comms and they could still do super, super well. You know, they are locked into each other. They are mind readers. And you see that now, you know, 400 above Surge. The mats are looking okay on Benji, but obviously Savage is going to have the majority of the materials because he's the main tarper. As Malibuka, I did mention they were going to be fine on Surge, but I guess the strategy, I mean, the launch pads are gone and the 50 below Surge, Shyo. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. Yeah, absolutely. But they have those Spider-Man web shooters. They get all the way ahead. And now this is prime position to start landing shots. But unfortunately, their back wall gets a little bit beamed. They see a few swingers on the left side, but can't actually land the shots. It's too difficult. The pendulum swings way too fast. And now Malibuka, he's trying to go for that big bully from the high ground. And yes, he gets a little bit of shots in, just two below. They need a little bit more.
Yeah, and you know, this is a bad zone for them as well, right? Because no one wants to be on that low gun in the water. And you saw them looking down for players on that low gun, but no one's going to be there. I think all of these pros, they have the experience to know you do not want to be on low gun in the water zone because you're just going to be stuck swimming. It's an awkward spot to build as they are now 12 above Surge, 32 people left alive, Shyo.
Maximum focus though. They swing straight through the air, land on builds that they make themselves and all the way boxed in while they're getting hit by Surge. That was absolutely amazing, but now it's down to Clement trying to clutch his team's dreams right now. He's going to be inside Genesis' box. He goes for the quick swipe in and goes for the shotgun shot, but it's blocked by a wall. Clement's trying to do whatever he can to stay inside this game. 150 mats. He needs a refresh soon. He needs to just try to get that skin routine going right now, but it's not going to be there. It's not going to be possible. Close box to box. He has to reset the entire momentum swing. A brand new layer. It's all wood builds. It's almost over. Yes, he gets bullied by the man. He did pump all the way down to 1 HP. Janice claps back.
And there are two people that we don't really see in the game on high ground. T-Chips and Artskill on top of them. T-Chips, you know, a very good French player. Artskill, very, very aggressive player. You know, he does well with a lot of different people. Janus jumps into the block and he takes out one more. That's his third elimination of the game. He gets himself Siphon, builds up a zone and push 4 yet again.
Who is going to stop Janus? Because this man has no teammate right now, and he's absolutely tearing through every single box and build. 101 HP effectively. Krusty in front of his wall. They both trade, healing up a few shields. It's about to get crazy once more. He's not even anywhere near the high ground either, so it's going to be chaos near the low.
And Stompy without his boy Arco on the high ground. Now with his new duo, Yoju. But Janus gets another one. That's his fourth one of the end game, Shyo.
He's still going all the way, hamming through. This is just an absolutely impossible situation for Janus, but he's finding answers. 3 more options, up, middle, or lower. Where will he go? He looks towards the sky, has a few builds to break, but only 100 mats to his name. High ground, held by 1 floor. Will he interrupt it just shortly? No, he doesn't really go for it just yet. He's hiding. It's a perfect position, but he gets rattled a little bit now. No builds. He has to go for just a shot. A final 50 pot as Kinzel goes down. Benji is still popping in the feed. It's Artskill all the way up top in the sky. T-Chips finds Kane on the ground. Janice is looking for his next shot, but he can't find anything free.
No.
The cost is too high. He jumps inside the storm. He's still alive. Big shot, and this time it's on the Savage. Benji claps back. You can't break the duel's mental on the low.
Benji and Savage on the logo takes out another one. 1v2 situation now as Benji goes up, plays super aggressive. He needs to be careful. He only has 55 HP and he does it. Benji and Savage is now going to be a little bit saved and looks like Venom's trying to take a peek at high ground here. And not a single team has height, and I don't think it's the right play to go for yet because they do have those 2 launch pads. You don't want to be using those materials to go up and waste them because you're going to be launch padding anyways. It's not going to give you too much. Those those splashes, sorry, are going to be good enough to play mid ground and then launch pad afterwards. And zone pulls bottom right towards Shankar side. So luckily for the majority of this lobby, it pulls back towards that congested side. So a lot of these guys are going to have a pretty easy access through. And knowing Venom and Joe, you know, he was looking at high ground. I expect him to fully land at high ground on the front side of zone. And actually, if you take a look, you'll be seeing this in this first moving here. Everyone on that north side, they're going to be launching first. They're going to be landing. Venom and Joe, they're going to be the last team to land. And that's when they're going to have the opportunity because they're able to extend that launch pad as far as possible. And then they save themselves so many materials because everyone's already on the floor, right? Everyone's already landed. So you have 0 risk of ever getting late landed on because you're the last team to launch pad, Shyo.
Absolutely. It's also a barren desert, a wasteland. There's not going to be too many mountains or anything around the city of Shankar Speedway. to land upon. Everything here is going to be player built. So you're absolutely correct. Leaving as late as possible will give you one of the highest points of elevation you can latch upon. Sunny Chappiks have to leave a little bit earlier because we're towards that backside. Base up, go for a few shots. They have another launch pad to leave this position as well, but they're just trying to farm as much damage as possible. Now you hear the gliders in the sky. They're popping left and right. 200 damage above for Seti and Chappiks are looking for a little bit of freedom towards the clouds. They find it. You can see the overview right now. Lots of mid-ground positions. One definitive team on height. Seti's looking for a little bit of a higher elevated base as well. As we look towards the other side on low ground, it's Savage and Benji. They're gonna be towards the backside of the zone now, still finding trouble getting in, but the spicy splash dropped down towards the feet, making things hot. Feisty, fast, and speedy, good for both teammates, but they're slightly separated too. It's Kuriachi that Benji takes down as he moves across the cars and the dirt on the ground. They're looking pretty good so far, Boot, but they have a long ways to go.
I mean, he had almost 0 builds then. All of a sudden, Kuriachi just into the box, back up to 80 as you get this nice little panning shot. Benji still stuck in the backside of zone. Yet again, a result of a little bit of late rotations as he has to progress through all of these old builds. He's going to be very careful. Savage is going to try to elevate themselves away from this spot. As we have a high gun battle, you have Pink and Anas trying to go up on top of there. And these guys, you know, they don't have the most aggressive playstyle, but when it comes to those late moving zones and zone transitions, they love to go on top of it. And they do have Spider-Mans. They do have the momentum to go back up, and they have it for free now, going to 8th moving zone pretty damn soon. And I like an easy spot for them.
Absolutely. Pink actually uses the web shooters to go forward, negate the fall damage, and then build all the way back up, reconnecting the high ground, stopping the weakness of these builds. It's absolutely genius. Past that, Trulex Chico looking for a little bit of revenge on any aggressivity happening towards the top side of this map. They're going to be looking to maybe take over height. Vino and Joe all the way down low. Don't have any launch pads left anymore. Savage actually going down in the feed, but trading Rotary, so I'm not sure where first place is, if they're still alive, but they're having a little bit of trouble in Paradise. Joe and Vino, though, they're denying everyone on this low ground towards the forward side. They're going, just landing shots left and right. Floki, Hook on boxes right beside each other on the backside as well. A little bit of calm for every single team as the zone moves again, but Floki denied on low. It's tough to heal. Hookah wins that one. And then Pink up top with an Nos are still looking good to reign on high grounds.
Yeah, now it is time for the big impact facts for Veno and Joe. 4 eliminations already with the zone pullback. Now it's going to be a little bit tough because you see them on this logo, but you're going to get smothered just a little bit. They do find the toes of some players. They find another one.
This is crazy.
Good tags coming through. They do have those flashes, you know, to tank zone just a little bit, and he does go for it. But unfortunately, I think that's only going to be Cypher materials. Yes, it is, because those players will completely scuff them backside of zone. They do have those flashes to go back up, though. And, you know, they're making use of the inventory very well here, Shyo, and they still have 10 more seconds in the zone transitions.
They needed the mats. It might just be a little bit, but it gets them a little bit of more space to survive. And Vino shoots another shot again, lands a big one. Not going to get the elimination. Mappy on the backside now. He's also out of mats. They're going towards almost uneditable builds. They have to break it through. Double swinging with a pickaxe is going to be looking good. A little bit of ammo picked up from the backside. Mappy going down. PKR also denied. Pink is still raining absolutely bullet after bullet from the high ground. And Nos is holding on to it still. They haven't been challenged. And now we're down to 5 teams. Pink and Nos, absolute control of the lobby right now. No one can even breathe, but the map gives people the chance to fight each other on low. It's gonna be that Speedway warehouse that everyone has a chance to just kind of wrap around, and armored walls pulled up by Vino and Joe to give them a little bit of a situation on the right side. They have a path, they're moving in, Bedmiss popped. This is so constrictive. They have no space to move, and it's an entire diner they're gonna be rocking with on the right side. A person right in front of them, it's Default that gets bopped inside his own hometown. Vino now looking for the siphon. Does he get it? Yes, another player on his front side. He denies it too. Somehow Vino and Joe are alive. The final 2v2. Can they make this happen? It's amongst tyrants all the way on high ground who've had no interruption so far. A big shot from Vino and the spray. 30 HP, and he's still finding a way to have a conversation, a voice inside this battle, but the spray comes down. There's no builds to hide behind. You can have the best aim in the world, but it's not gonna stop Pink and Anas from getting that win.
That was a valiant effort done, Logan, by Veno and Joe. You know, there was chaos down there. 4 players just running around with no materials with their heads cut off. And Veno and Joe, they come out on top. Very well played game there from Dan. And Pink and Anas, you know, very good fundamentals. Again, taking height on that zone transition. A bit of a lucky zone pullback there for them, considering the material count. You see them finish this game on 0. And that's going to be good for them here, Shyo.
Absolutely. Irizumi, very same position. Might not have multiple launch pads, but they have 80 points so far. They might not be controlling high ground completely like Pink and Anas, but they've been consistent over their last 2 games. Now in the 3rd game, they have a spot to even steal that lead from Benjyfishy, and it's about 12 points ahead of Pink and the Nos from what we saw before. Irazumi even pops that spicy pepper, a little bit of a speedier glide. We'll see exactly how this looks down. They've checked up top, and what a way to pad past all those builds on a single floor, blocking him through there. High and mighty inside the sky. They go straight for that forward position. We see so many teams in good spots all the way towards that final zone make this move first. And Irazumi and Leader, they're not all the way towards the low ground. They have no people next to them either. This is such a good spot.
Yeah, they're in a very good spot. They do have those peppers popped as well. And then we go back towards Pink and Anas here. See, they're holding out. And like I mentioned, they're going to launch pad very slowly towards the front side. Launch pad yet again. And now they're going to evaluate. Is this a good time to take high ground? And it doesn't look like it because there's a lot of people pretty much set up yet. So they can wait until that second moving. And then if second moving pushed north, for example, then they're going to have a lot of materials because they're able to save those materials with those launch pads. So I'm hoping to see a north zone pool because it's going to be a launch pad towards height in the second moving zone here, Shyo.
Absolutely. De facto first place right now will be Art Skill and T-Chips up inside the box. They're desperate to find any damage. 79 below. They might be in first. They might have 93 points, but that 95 below threshold is the number that matters, and they changed it up. Rewrite their destinies. 360 above, or 63 above, excuse me. They're still trying to find some type of damage. Might get close to 360 with the way this damage is going right now. They dodged the first few strikes of Surge as well as Stompy finds a few more in the feed. Chulex down. Mustache taken out by Endless and Squeeze. They're side by side, but it's Stompy going all the way up towards the skies. Nylu has to be forced to drop down. 536 damage above for this team. They Spider-Man their way all the way forward as well. They stop another height take too. The denial is insane.
And you gotta be careful. If you're fighting on the backside of zone, there's gonna be another team towards the front side that's trying to take it away from you. Juice smartly here, Spider-Man towards the front side, but they get chopped down. Oh, they do reconnect though, but is the damage done? I don't know. They only have 4 more builds in total, and here comes Pink. Like I mentioned, if you're fighting on the backside of zone, you're gonna be using a lot of materials, and Pink's been able to save it this entire game here, Shyo. 26 builds left, and they have it into this 8th moving zone.
Oh, they take out Stompy, and Pink is still active and alive. The aim electric, the bullet's magnetic, and they're not missing. This is just insane. Anas is there too at the very front of it, applying the pressure that Pink is making as well. He's making sure not a single edit can be made upwards. Mappy's kind of trapped. Seti's right below him too, so they're being forced into a pinch as well. T-Chips though, still in first, taking down Link. Finally, Endlex takes him down, so that might be the first place team not active either. They were close to 95, 98 points. It's 80 so far, but Seti too is also popping up. Picks out Mappy, he survives the pinch, and this is where trouble starts.
And I think we're gonna get 2 in a row here from Pink and Anas because the zone pulls back over old builds, right? So they have, even though the material count is very, very limited, they're gonna be able to stay on top of them, and no one's really gonna pressure them because they're all gonna go through, Shyo.
Absolutely. Seti, though, this is going to be another clutch situation. We saw Janus do it before, but he's out of mats and unfortunately goes down towards the front side. It'll be Endless next Squeeze that picked that one up. 26th place for them overall, but they're looking really good. And Austin Pink, again, it's like just walking a dog or something. It's just so simple for them. Every time, business as usual when it's the desert. These guys make sure everyone else is just low and dry. Pink, once again, another launch forward, and he secures another spot of the high ground.
And it is a game of numbers, right? Even the small launch pad there, you know, it's only 2 to 3 blocks, but every single build counts here. When you go into that final moving zone, that one build might just save them as we have 7 duels left alive, Shyo.
Absolutely. Flixie now, he's going to be in trouble. You're talking about every single build. They only have about 6 left. Pick up a few more on the left side. Armored Wall buys them a little bit of time, but it's time that's going to be translated into money, into points right now. The longer you stay alive, the more placement you're going to get, and they're trying to milk every single second so far. Up top is where the roof comes crashing down, and Flixie is the one to pick up all the mats left around. This is going to be huge for them. Dodging even more sprays. This man has like a shield bubble around him. There's no way he's taking no damage from all this pressure. Right now he's looking down, lands another big shot. Surge doesn't matter right now. It's only about getting these eliminations and staying alive ahead. Inside this feed, a big one from the heavy shotgun slug. It comes straight in. No, it's a pump, but it doesn't even matter. The damage is true. Nylu still alive right now. The Siptos also getting a few picks, and they're going all the way up for high ground. 3 builds left. It's not going to be enough. He doesn't have the mat to actually go all the way up towards the top, but he has a big shot on the left side. That's an interruption. Flixie's insane. Pink is down. The Emperor is usurped. The med mist might be enough to keep him alive inside the car. The tech is nuts, but no. Driving is not going to be allowed today. Anas saves it for now. A 1v1, no materials, a pump shot. It's do or get done, and he does it. Anas into the brass tacks of Fortnite. They're going to be going right off the water. This is good for a majority of teams. The issue is, I'm looking at a little bit of a ramp. And like, you know, if you're doing an incline walk for 40 minutes, your legs get tired. Right now, it's not muscles that are gonna be strained for a lot of teams. It'll be their mats. Moving upwards, especially from a low ground position, you're gonna have the sickest possible builds. And at the same time, everyone on the right side, there's not too many launch pads here either. It's gonna be tough for them to move. Some people already low on HP, even setting in chat picks uncharacteristically when inventory stock is completely down. Surge down as well. They have to move. They're swimming. They're desperate. This just looks like trouble.
I'm very curious to see who takes over high ground in this first movement, right? We have Pink and Anas dominating in that second to third moving zone now, but they're not in this game anymore, so I'm very curious to see who wants to go up for it. And I have a feeling it might be Benji and Savage trying to go up for it because they have a very close by zone. They're going to have a higher average material count compared to the lobby, so hopefully we'll see some action on height here.
It's gonna be action on height, survival on low though. Somehow Hookah and Zestin still alive. The last duo in and the first one out. Talk about produce rules. That's exactly what they're doing right now. They're still moving in 116 below. Hookah hanging on by a thread. They have to find one shot in a box somewhere. Anything, a possibility, a crevice, a crack. No, nothing. They have one wall claim. A little bit of damage traded, but it's only on towards them. Hookah now down to 1 HP. Zestin almost taken out on the left side. They're deleted, and we go back over to Savage. No Benji, just one man with a mission. Absolutely catastrophic in terms of a position to try to take back first, but there's a chance there. 4 Elims to see what they can do. On the other side, Vino and Joe, you're asking Boop who has height. It's the covert duo themselves, and they're not hiding anymore. They're ready to play.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, right? These guys had the most launch pads in the lobby. They have those Spider-Man gauntlets as well. They are the most aggressive duo in the lobby, and with that high fire rate golden SMG there, the second highest can be a little bit scared. But Savage here, this is the guy that you want in your corner to be clutching up, right? One of the best solo players in the game right now, has so much experience, has the biggest brain in solos, and with a Spider-Man in his hand, I think there's a good chance he clutches up here. And those crucial... Whoa!
What?
Whoa, no!
Wait a minute!
What have I just said?
The fix! The pad?
Oh, he's back. Okay.
How is that even possible? They got booped by one of the webs that's there, and then actually just adjusts in midair like Spider-Man himself, and then finds a pad. Only Savage gets into situations like that and stays alive.
How does this keep happening, Shyo? How does it keep happening every single time I say something nice, they just get destroyed by something random? But Jew here, surely it doesn't happen to Jew, right? 3 eliminations here, 7 builds. The zone is going to push slightly back, so it's going to be a little bit careful. But Savage here finds another shot on another player. He's going to play this very slowly. He's not going to jump in aggressively. He's going to take and buy this time as he finds Shyowager there. That's probably only going to give him Cypher materials in this position, but that's good enough. He does have those armored walls still to set himself up, though. There you go. 22 builds in total, but he's going to get held out, and he's stuck below this mountain now. Now it's due. It's all about survival now against Stormrat and Kiriachi. Those armored walls coming greatly into effect. Those gonna be able to hold out, but there's another web there, Shyo.
What? He just keeps getting booped up. This is crazy. Webs that shouldn't even exist. But Savage makes it happen. Now his mats are out. Needs to find a shot in the pick, but it's not going to be possible. That's a different side of the zone. He's getting an absolute haircut from high ground, though. That's gone, and now it's up to T-Chips and his teammate Artskill to kind of take that lead. Hard find up top, and this time him and Nova have finally seen an end game. They don't want to go down now. They're trying to rain a few shots up top, keep that pressure up. It's not going to be enough. So far, they go for a few more beams, but it's blocked by T-Chip down below. There's still one more team that's in the mix. Ju finally down, and now it's a 2v2.
You gotta be careful though. There's that massive log in the middle of this end game, and you cannot build around it. So they maneuver themselves around to the left side, and Heartskill there, 11 eliminations in total. Artskill and T-Chips on 5 eliminations as well, but the mats are running out very slowly. There's still 90 seconds left on the zone, and I don't think there's much you can do in this position here. It's all about biding your time. You gotta be very passive. You gotta be a little bit careful, but I feel like they could spray their SMGs just a little bit more, Shyo.
Absolutely, the final drop down's in. It's an absolute all in, and it's hard find that finds in the 7th, 6th place overall. Will be a good spot to be at because you don't want to be right on the line, but that's going to be a big task because it's just him. And yeah, he can pull a little bit of loot with those webs, but now it's all about going all in. He has the zone. It pulls towards him. He should be ahead of Surge. Right above him is that first place team. They'll be playing passive, so that's very good for Seti. Just keep rocking. He might be able to just follow them. Meanwhile, everyone else is looking to maintain that 120-point line, stay ahead of it. And Austin Pink, not fully qualified just yet, but this game might solidify that.
Yeah, and this is sort of a result of them using that launch pad early on that other rotate. Like I said, this is such a tough zone to rotate because of the open plains, and that, you know, that's going to be translated for this first moving here. Making us have to go through that Loga, but Seti, in the meantime, stuck between multiple players, able to hold out somehow, fully piece that opponent, and he is gone. See you later. Spider-Man's away, and he should be able to survive this, but he's still 111 below Surge now. He gets shot now by the teams, and this is the ideal timing, right? All of those players are going to be launch padding halfway through, and now into the static zone. They're going to be looking back towards low ground, because this isn't a water zone. This is a flat zone, and there's going to be people on low ground that you can eliminate for free, and Seti's going to be one of those players. Still 200 below Surge here, trying to traverse through this. The Spider-Man is saving his life just a little bit. He has those heals to survive, though, but 5 more players need to be eliminated, and Pink and Anas, they're also in the trouble here. Also below Surge, but they tick back up, luckily for them, and here comes those chug splashes, and this is what I mentioned. They have those chug splashes for height, and there's no one on high ground, actually, and all of the high ground teams are, I think, out of this lobby. I think Veno and Joe, they were very, very scuffed going into this rotate because Pink and Anas held them out, and this is what I mean, Shyo. This is a butterfly effect. They held Veno and his duo out very early on into half and half, and now they're the only aggressive height team now progressing into the second moving.
Hey, you called it, Boop. It's all about having maybe one rocky game and then going for another back-to-back for Pink and Anas. They're right there, but Seti is still keeping the dream alive. 12 HP. He can barely even dip into the zone. He has a little bit of shield to work with too, but heavy shotgun shot, a rattle of an SMG should just delete that in just a second. He has to play defense perfectly. 4 match, 2 match, 1, and almost done. Now he just has one more ramp to place. It's not going to be enough, but he has enough to get past that 100-point threshold. 138 for an Austin Pink, though. They're in a different complete dimension, a different hemisphere. They're literally all the way up inside the skies, and they're making it look like they're playing the same game over and over again. Randomly walk up on height and beam everyone else down below.
Yeah, but the problem is, though, the zone does not pull back now into this 8th moving zone, so they have limited materials. People are going to be building for them, so they're going to be delaying their rotate just a little bit, but they have teams below them, and if there's teams aware, and they can be a little bit dangerous, though, but Kyriachi and Storm right here, they do find more elimination on this backside of zone. That's going to give them Siphon, but now back to 0 as they hold back out, and they got to be careful now.
Absolutely, Kyriachi actually ends up interrupting that high ground take, and then Stormy Red that takes apart the other 50% of it. Pink and Anas are down. Kyriachi at 116 points will look to take away their place on the leaderboard and maybe even get closer to the lead. This might be a qualifying run for them. A victory royale here might solidify their spot inside the finals of this duo FNCS. Have a launch pad below, but not actually going for it at all. They just want to maintain control and make sure no one comes up. Look at the beams, the spray from Kyriachi. This man is finally awake and ready to get things going in this end game. You notice 360 degrees, he's just moving around and around. It's like his entire mouse is on a spinning top. Him and Stormy Right have absolute control. Hookah, Kaizen, Nyaizen all the way down on low ground. They have to stay secure.
Yeah, and there's a lot of very new duos in this endgame, right? A lot of faces we haven't seen before, but one we have seen a lot is Hookah here. 150 points, 4 eliminations, but unfortunately he went into a full duo on that low gun as we go into a 2v1 situation. Link just surviving now with one more build. He's sneaking his way through, needs to be a little bit careful. There's a rock there right above him that's going to provide him a little bit of cover. He's going to drop down there, and they don't know. The tracking is good, but unfortunately not good enough, and that's only good for the high ground team here, Shyo.
Absolutely, a good interruption though. Now it'll be a 1v2. Disaster for Kaizen. Absolute glory for the team that retook height. Kyriachi, Stormy Right, they won an FNCS. They won a game here too as well. I really want to see that 8th place team, though. I know these are all the POVs we're looking at right now. Link, Vino, 113, 120, Seti at 112, 11th, 10th, and 9th overall. We'll look at 11th for the moment. He has a possibility to clutch, but if that 8th place team goes down as well, that's going to be big trouble. Seti, off a solo clutch, he glides. Finally in. Stops a little bit. Issues with the crouch bind, but it's all good. He's finally up and alive in a good spot to go for a few beams. Not going to see it there too much, too far. Flixie, though, 131 points. 8th place, and they get another big refresh. Look at the loadout, Boop. This is the best thing you would want in the end game. Peppers, the gauntlets as well. You have such good Storm Surge thresholds overall, and a front portion of the zone that's fully tarped out. Your builds are at max. You're living the absolute dream, and you and your teammate are alive.
My man is playing solid gold right now. This inventory is ridiculous. Still has his 2 peppers, though, in order to progress through this low ground, mid ground. Needs to be a little bit careful, though, in terms of elevation, because there's a lot of hills here that can sort of mess you up in this situation, Shayo.
Yeah, I'm looking at a little bit of hesitation from this team as well. Looking like they don't exactly know exactly what to do. They're not all the way in the front of the line. They're not editing, taking any shots on the backside of the box. Vino, though, is by himself as well. 6 eliminations. We've been giving him so many good props so far. Seti, also a solo. It's 2 POVs, 2 journeys that might end here today in Game 6.
And this is what I love about duos, right? It's all about these solo clutches. It is Veno versus Seti, all to play for this final. This is all that they need. They need to rely on themselves to clutch up, and only themselves. There's no teammate to help them out here. There's no one but themselves, and it is so much pressure. Veno is used to that pressure, though, because he got second in All-Stars, but is he going to be able to hit the final shot this time, unlike in All-Stars?
We'll have to see. Vino's going to be going straight for it. No whips in action. He does not have the web shooters, just him. And a few splashes, a little bit of spice to get that step prepped and going. All the way up on mid-ground, he is running out of materials. It's the last brick wall. Metal actually taking over an armored ramp to block off the way, but on the left side, Link will try to get all the way in. That's a 9th place POV. That's looking for a rat-a-tat-tat. A way to get Vino down, and they do clasp it over. Do they have enough points to go for that 8th place team? Nylu is looking desperate. Flixie, from a place of paradise now, is dropped down into doom. They have no shields. They're finally getting a little bit of their step back, a little bit of stability, but they're so far up high in the sky, beamed down from side to side. This is going to be tough for Flixie and Nylu. They're on the last brink of survival right now. This is so tough. The sprays from all sides. Get out of the box, guys. There's no way. It's a bounce back. They get saved by the zone, and they're in 7th now as well. This might be exactly what they need. Surviving that fight saves them possibly a spot in the finals.
Yeah, this is going to be super, super close, Isha, with Janus and Vortex on the high gun as well. But Flixie and his teammate, they have just been surviving here. They have not been living, they're surviving, because this has not been an easy road to this. They are trying to claim this low ground, though. Another player trying to go through, but that zone pullback was so clutch, because if zone did not pull back there, it would have been the end for them, Shayo.
They have an entire new journey, a new path forward, but at the same time, there's no information. All they hear are just very scary footsteps above them. A nice pickup on the right side, but it's not going to be a full point finish for them, just the elims. And the match they need, Big Beam, that's 8th place right behind them. They can stop them in their tracks. 6th place overall for Nylu. Maybe we go look over to Link. Yes, absolutely, 8th place overall. They're making this happen, and they're barely in with the zone. 40 effective HP. They can't go back in the line. Do they get a bounce back? No, they get squished in even more, and they have to move forward. 24th place in front of them, 9th place below. What can they do? They have to break apart every build. Only 5 mats left for Link. Default on the left. Link goes down. This is where Default shines. Down on the low, Nylu in front. That's a team right ahead of them. Could this solidify the qual? Back towards the storm. No! Stopped at 137 points. Fixley at 149. He's making this run work. They started at 8th. They're now 5 teams left, and he lands a crucial shot to boost forward into 5th place. What a run from Nylu and Flixie.
Flixie is absolutely electric in this position. He has been popping players on this low gun, and he's still continuing to go on. 3 more duos left in the Janus and Vortex trying to drop down. And we have WK able, true to his name yet again, and he's in the box with him. Another SMG shot. Now it's up to Nelu. He could shake things up now. I think it should be enough though for him to qualify, but you never know. Every single point counts. The edits are quick. He's in the box. The tracking is good, but the ramp comes out. 30 HP, and it's not enough for Nelu, unfortunately.
2 weeks from today, but next weekend, everyone else is playing in the semi-final rounds if they've made it through on series points. So, Stompy,